What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in my first video, we did a quick recap of all of the mods that I've done to this car so far. But this is going to be a dedicated video going one by one, showing every mod. I'm going to be putting the listings on the screen and in the description. So if you guys are looking to restore and repair, modify, resto mod, whatever you want to call it, one of these Mk1 Audi TTs, you know, hopefully my little guide here can be of service to you. Now, in some of the Facebook groups I'm in and on one of my previous videos, I've gotten some questions about my intercooler setup. So start off this mod showcase. The first thing I want to do is get this front bumper off, and then I'm going to show you guys what my intercooler setup. It also gives me the opportunity to fix this, show you guys. And if you look, it's moving the whole charge pipe. So swiftly remembering how much of a fucking pain in the ass this was. I'm peeling back the wheel liner, the wheels here, so I don't have much space. So you guys can quickly see how this can become a little difficult, but you know, once you got it on, just hammer it away, man. All right, keep those bolts over there. On the top, you got a series of the T27 Torx bits. Bumper off. For those of you who haven't been behind a Mk1 Audi TT bumper, there are some differences about this bumper. First being the headlight washers. They're still screwed in there, but I just cut them off and deleted them and got rid of the hoses, and I clamped off the wiper fluid hose that went to those headlight cleaners. So those are completely inoperable. They don't work anymore. Deleted, bye-bye. And also you can see there the plastic grates that go along all the way along the bottom. Those were deleted, and actually, see if I can show you, like right here, they're shaved back with a Dremel because I needed to shave back and make some clearance for my boost hoses to fit. I didn't have to do that on this center portion at all, but I did have to do the same thing on that side. So now let's review the intercooler setup. Intake's right here, it goes into the turbo down there. The charged air comes out of the turbocharger through these boost hoses, and then down here behind the headlight, see if I can get a good glimpse of it. You guys can see the red pipe from the top connects to some aluminum charge pipes, some elbows, some couplers. Now this is, I'll put the link in the description and show on the screen, this is a universal eBay 2.5-inch kit. But what I did have to do is this one right here, I had to cut and bead roll the edges myself to shorten it to make sure that it could fit for this application. It's actually a lot more simple on this side. That comes up right up here to the top, into the plastic map sensor down there, into this black hose, and then into the intake manifold. Now for the intercooler, this is a Mk1 Z-line universal intercooler. This is good up to like, I think 30 PSI, 400 horsepower, something like that. Now the hardest part is these brackets right here. As you can see, we got 1, 2, 3 holes on that side from failed attempts to line it up. It's a little bit janky. These are just self-tappers, only one on either side. You know, it's not a perfect setup, but I mean, look, it's pretty sturdy, and it gets the job done, especially when the bumper's in the way and with all the hoses clamped up. Everything's real sturdy, and it's yeah, it works pretty good. And I will be getting rid of this zip tie. I have no idea why I left it there. That's pretty cringe. Here on this side right here, this is the windshield wiper fluid hose that normally would come across to the front and then tee off into those headlight cleaners, but that's deleted right there. Just got a bolt in it and a hose clamp. No leaks, works good. But yeah, that's my intercooler setup. That was a whole lot of work just to show you guys that for a couple minutes. But yeah, I suppose we'll review the rest of the car. One thing I want to do before reviewing my current kind of mods list is get this set. Now clearly I think we found our culprit, and hopefully stop that from cracking and save the headlight. Yeah, I've been meaning to get this out of the way for a minute. So clearly the first mod reviewed in this car is the Mk1 Z-line universal intercooler and the eBay boost pipe and coupler kit. Those will be on the screen and in the description. This may feel like deja vu for some of you, but we're gonna go ahead and review the rest of the parts in the engine bay here. All right, I guess we'll start with the obvious. This right here is part of the TT Racing Boost Hose kit. It's pretty cheap, available on eBay. Other parts included in this kit is this hose, this red hose, and this red boost hose back here. You can see it branded TT Racing. One thing that's part of the kit that I haven't installed yet is there's a nice red hose to go on right here into the intake manifold. It's at the shop, can't get to it, but we'll get that done eventually. On the top, you can see we got these red top coil packs. This is part of the Euro Tuning R8 coil pack upgrade. It's got these billet Euro Tuning branded spacers with the red top coil packs. Got these shiny billet aluminum little caps. It's a little cosmetic mod branded at the TT. Down here, if you can see it right here, this is a 034 Motorsports billet diverter valve. This is probably one of the most important mods that I've done to the car that's really helped the car get up into shape. Another modification we have here is we have the PCV deleted for a custom catch can. This is just a cheap eBay baffled oil catch can, and this is just some heater hose from the car parts store. This big red hose right here is the turbo intake pipe with just the eBay cone filter on the top of it, nothing too special. But yeah, that goes right down into the turbocharger, and then this one comes right off of the turbo. So pretty much all of the charge pipes besides this elbow right here are all brand new, so we will be replacing that at some point. Now, another mod that I have done in the engine bay, you can see we got the, kind of hard to see, but on the injector rail we got these green injectors. These are the Bosch 440cc green giant injectors. They are a little bit bigger than stock, and they're good for like a stage 1-ish tune, whatever that even means, from like Unitronic or Motiza or whatever. But they also work within the stock tune parameters, so they're a good option to just throw in your car as a replacement, and for when you're ready to tune the car after you get it sorted, for, you know, just a little bit more fuel. I also forgot, I failed to mention two of the most important parts of upgrades to the car. Let's see if I can get the camera down there to show you guys. You can see it a tiny bit there. It's black by the exhaust manifold on the right. It's a Mambatech. It's an adjustable wastegate actuator with springs rather than the rubber diaphragm from stock. It is a little bit upgraded. It's at 0.8 bar. Stock, the diaphragm's at I think 0.5 bar. So some other small mods I have done is like, this is the N249. I have that deleted. And this is just a resistor. You know, down here you can see the aluminum coolant flange. I don't know if you can see back behind it, like right behind it, there's a block off plate for the secondary air injection. I've already gone over most of this, but here are the secondary air hoses, you know, both ends just sitting there. So underneath the car here, I mean, clearly you can see some shiny pipe, right? In the back, you can see that point where it meets back up to the stock exhaust. So there's a resonator and the stock back box. I don't know if you guys are able to make it out. The whole rear end of that exhaust system stock, right? There's a resonator back there, and there is a normal back box. And as you come up here, I don't know if you can see, but that's bolted up to a catless 3-inch down pipe. I also don't know if you can make it out from down here. I'll insert a clip of it, but I have a polyurethane dog bone mount that's installed, which that really helps the feel. I had an old shot dog bone, and you could feel it with every shift, the engine rocking back and forth. So now, one thing I wanted to discuss in this video, I've discussed it a little bit, is like the cost of maintenance of owning a car like this. You know, it's not all just putting on shiny bits and doing cool things. There's maintenance to it, and just wanted to review some of the maintenance items I've done to this car. Underneath those coil packs, those nice red and shiny coil packs, I've got some brand new spark plugs. That's standard maintenance you should do with an old car. And then I don't know if you can see, I've got a fresh gasket on the valve cover. It was leaking, and the valve cover gasket for this car is two parts. There's a center part for the spark plugs. That part was the worst. It was leaking oil into the spark plugs. It was misfiring like a motherfucker. So down here we got a brand new alternator that we've put in, brand new alternator cables, and yeah, a new intake manifold gasket. But yeah, now we're gonna move on to the interior. I've also reviewed this in a previous video. This is just an interior cosmetic repair for a common issue on this car. The plastic underneath the leather cracks and then the leather starts to come up. So this is just some weather stripping and then re-glued just to fix to get it by, you know, so I can roll my window down and rest my elbow there if I need to. Now, the steering wheel is still cockeyed because I have the wheels turned from the intercooler removal, but I've also, you know, shown all of this in a previous video. But this is a custom steering wheel that is custom handmade in Poland, hand stitched. I'll have a link to this in the description and I'll put it on the screen. I love this steering wheel. It feels great. It's such a good upgrade over stock. Another mod that I have here in the interior is this boost gauge. I had to run a vacuum line through the firewall and then up underneath the dashboard, and then I had to cut a hole in the HVAC system to run it in through. This was a bitch to install. Another, like, I don't know if I want to take all that apart just to show how I did it, but if I get enough questions on it, maybe that's something I'd consider. Now moving over here, maybe I should just show this one. I've had, not many people have asked about this on my channel, but in the Facebook groups I've had a couple questions about this, so we'll go ahead and show it off. As you can see, this is an Apple CarPlay screen. I just seemed to shut off, but you were able to see it there. Showcased this before in the previous videos, but what's special about this screen is that this Apple CarPlay screen has a two-way Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone to it via Bluetooth, so you can get your maps on your screen, but you can also connect your phone to a Bluetooth receiver. Now, another mod that I have is, it's called a Blue Music Bluetooth receiver, and it's made for the Audi concert. You pull the radio out, and then there's a adapter that goes in place instead of the plugs for the CD changer, so you can instead have a Bluetooth receiver. So the Apple CarPlay and the Bluetooth to the speakers in the car and the Audi Bose, it all works perfectly hand in hand, no problems, and it's just a, you know, upgrade that me personally I wanted to make. So just opening up the trunk of my car here, because I've addressed this before in previous videos, but I just want to show some parts that I plan to install pretty soon here. So in here, in this box, we have a Cytec 378 liter power fuel pump. I'm going to be installing this as soon as I get a map for the car. This is another part, metal water pump. I'm going to be getting that installed when I do the timing. Some miscellaneous shit, you know, some oil and coolant. Always a good idea to have that in an old car. Extra vacuum hoses. All right, let's get the other side started. Yeah, but sorry, fat son of a bitch can get out my ass and work in my driveway in the middle of winter, so can you. Straight up and get to it. Definitely a little bit of a weird position for my arm and hand, that's for sure. All right, suppose we'll just clean up my toolbox and then, all right guys, we got everything buttoned up here. Quick look at the car with everything buttoned up. The headlight isn't protruding anymore, not shaking around anymore. As you can see from all the shaking, there's a little bit of damage there, but shit happens. Fucking roll the punches, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go charge the camera and then we'll take you guys for a ride along or something. Oh, before I go, one last thing. I was talking about how the front bumper needed to be shaved to fit. Right here is a good example. If you guys can see right there. I had to shave in right here and then get rid of the grate that's normally here. There's normally one there in the front too. If you made it this far, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like and a comment. Subscribe if you're new. If you're interested in watching action rollers of my car, check out some of the other videos on my channel. Thanks for stopping by.